So in this segment, we're going to be talking about the Frosty, the Iceman himself, saying that the government didn't expect Brexit to be so disruptive for Northern Ireland. This is ridiculous because surely they should have had impact assessments ready to talk about what the issues are going to be around Northern Ireland with the protocol. I could imagine they might not have wanted to do that because these impact assessments often get leaked, hence why there's not been a Brexit impact assessment. The main issue is that, look, they didn't realise the damage it was going to do, especially since Boris Johnson was telling people in 2019 that there will be no checks in the Irish Sea. This is so dumb. This is so dumb. Frost, he's trying to argue incompetence, which I think he could justifiably do. But again, this is so stupid. The arguments he makes here are, oh my god. So the government underestimated the impact and the Northern Ireland Protocol would have on businesses trying to send goods across the Irish Sea. Said David Frost. Trade experts were warning you for months that this would be bad, and yet you still went ahead with it. And you didn't get the infrastructure, and you didn't get the people that you needed. You constantly lied to people in Northern Ireland. So then, when people in Northern Ireland realised what was happening, they were very angry about it. Why didn't you just admit the truth from the start? I know why. You wouldn't have won the 2019 election if you did. Frost, the cabinet minister who led the UK's trade talks, this is the guy who was chief negotiator, is constantly crying about the deal. On Monday, told the European Security Committee that post-Brexit disruption to trade between Great Britain and Northern Ireland has been greater than what the government had expected. They probably have a bigger chilling effect than we thought on GB businesses wanting to move goods into Northern Ireland. So he's saying that people, companies within Great Britain don't want to actually export goods to Northern Ireland because of things like all the paperwork, because it's expensive. It does cost money to do that, specifically with food, which I think they actually talk about, hence why the government have given their nonsense phase 3 and phase 4 stuff about changes to the Northern Ireland Protocol. This isn't going to happen. If the government wanted to do it, they would look for equivalency or alignment with the EU, but they're choosing not to. Shocker. This is one of the problems that's underlying the unrest and political developments we are seeing in Northern Ireland, and if the government wanted to fix it, like I said, they could have done to an extent, but the government are pushing for the Northern Ireland Protocol to be suspended or scrapped. That's something Liz Truss has spoken about, which we'll talk about at some point during the video. The Northern Ireland Protocol has resulted in an array of costly and time-consuming paperwork for businesses in Great Britain sending goods to Northern Ireland, particularly for those moving food. The EU have only asked the UK to check 20% of consignments going from GB to Northern Ireland. That's not even that much compared to, the fact that goods coming out of the UK to France, for example, are checked at around 30% from what I've read. Also, the fact that, we haven't done stupid trade deals with countries that have lower standards than us that are going to lead to an increase in checks of goods going to Northern Ireland. So, congratulations, guys. You're going to play yourselves again. So this is a key issue, that companies in Britain don't want to do the paperwork because there has to be paperwork done on both sides, the importer and the exporter, but the exporter has to do most of it. And these companies don't want to do it for whatever reason. They don't, whether that's for cost or just because they're like, well, you never told us this would happen, I don't want to do it. The UK and EU are currently discussing ways of potentially simplifying the Northern Ireland Protocol to make it easier for affected businesses. We're going to be talking more about this stuff here over the coming days. There's a lot to talk about with the Northern Ireland Protocol because it's currently kind of in talks. They're kind of in talks still right now, and there's a lot of information being leaked out. Frost offered a relatively downbeat assessment, saying that negotiations haven't been hugely productive and the government would have to see how far we can take it because we're still not putting up decent proposals from our side. Frost over the weekend, writing in the Daily Mail, which, the Mail is meant to, it appeals to a certain type of person. And that's who Frost is trying to appeal to, but he's also trying to make a statement to the EU as well. He said the Northern Ireland Protocol was purist and made no sense. Well, why do you agree to it then, if it makes no sense? Dude, you were the chief negotiator on this. I don't know how much more I can stress that. He today once again shut down suggesting that the UK should align with the EU's rules in order to eliminate checks on goods going from Great Britain to Northern Ireland. He said that, alignment with the EU or equivalency with the EU is not something they could do. It doesn't work for us. That isn't going to be the solution. He also warned the UK was not keen on aligning with EU rules, even on a temporary basis. Argued it could make it harder for the government to sign trade deals with other countries. Why would it do that, pal? Because I thought, we're not going to lower standards or anything like that in this country, so surely that means the EU have nothing to fear, right? About us getting in lower quality beef unless we're actually going to do that, Frosty. But is that the plan? This guy. The UK and EU are under growing pressure to find solutions for the Northern Ireland Protocol before the summer when loyalist marching season gets underway in the province. I think arguably the UK are under way more pressure because most of the violence is going to be, sort of predominantly within Northern Ireland. So I don't think the Republic have a ton to worry about. Obviously, they don't want to see that because it's kind of still physically a part of their country. Not when you factor in borders. Northern Ireland is still geographically a part of the Republic of Ireland. Obviously, they wouldn't want to see violence within that area, especially if there's spillover. But the simple fact is that the UK has more to worry about this, just like we did during the Easter when we saw violence there. Frost did not want to put a formal deadline on the government's talks with the EU because he can't. Because if he puts a formal deadline on it, that means that when things aren't agreed to, negotiations stop, which can't happen because it's the UK who need the EU to make some sort of concession or agreement here, because we're not going to make the concessions, like things like alignment. And the EU aren't going to make concessions either, which is something we'll talk about in a couple of days. There was a real-life timeline in Northern Ireland with a potentially turbulent summer approaching. Well, that's on the UK to fix, buddy. We could fix this. We could, even if we did temporary alignment with the EU, that would help. But we're not doing that, are we? Because ideologically, the government don't want to do that. He said the degree of unsettledness, is that a word, in the province had turned out to be stronger than the government had expected. Like, bruv, the Troubles, the Troubles weren't within my lifetime. I just missed it. I was born just, I think, I was kind of born just before the Troubles ended. I think the Good Friday Agreement was in 98. I was born in 96. But Frosty, you're an old man, an older man. You saw the Troubles. You were alive when the Troubles happened. How did you not realise that Northern Ireland, at the best of times, is a tinderbox? Like, anything could set it off. We've already seen violence over the decade. This was before, Brexit. I think in 2012 or one of the years before Brexit, there were riots and things like that. A few years ago, there were riots and things like that. How do you not realise this was not going to set off more riots? Honestly. He goes on, they are seeing effects about it, and they're having to divert supplies to some extent. He's talking about movement of things like supply chains, which are happening actively. Northern Ireland is doing more trade with the Republic of Ireland and with the EU, which is taking them kind of out of the UK's orbit trade-wise. He goes on to say they are concerned about where this might take us. This will, like I've mentioned multiple times, this will further strengthen the argument of unification. That is what's going to happen here. The more trade the Northern Ireland do with the Republic of Ireland, the more kind of the argument of unification kind of gets stronger. So again, these giant frauds once again. He blamed to some extent lies with the EU's controversial move on January to impose the vaccine export ban, Article 16 or whatever it is. Again, a massive fraudulent thing because the EU backtracked on it really quickly. It's genuinely one of the dumbest things that I think I've seen the EU do. And they've done a couple of dumb things during the pandemic. But the simple fact is you can't keep blaming them because that was it at the start of the year or it must have been at the start of the year. They immediately backtracked on it. Nothing physically actually happened. But we have seen physical actions from the UK when it comes to unilaterally extending some grace period. So again, dude, you can't keep harping on at that example because the UK has made worse moves to deal with this stuff. So the simple fact is you negotiated the Northern Ireland Protocol. Your government did not implement the facilities and the staff required to do the checks to make sure things go smoothly. Your government refuses to do alignment with the EU in order to help the checks, in order for there to be less checks and to allow things to run a bit more smoothly. It was your government that took us out of the single market and customs union that led to this. It is now your government that are basically trying to force a situation where either Northern Ireland is the Republic, there is a trade border around Ireland with the EU, so free movement of goods won't happen from the Republic of Ireland into the EU, which we know isn't going to happen. So most likely your government, the Tory government, are trying to force a hard border within the island of Ireland and therefore recreate the Troubles once again. That's what's going to happen here. And this government can talk about, we're here to protect the citizens of Northern Ireland and blah, blah, blah. You're the ones who put them in danger in the first place, you idiots. This is what's happening now. Anyways, look, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.